Hi there, I'm Allison. I'm the owner and designer of Allison Izu, and I wanted to come on and talk a little bit about fabric. So just so you know a little bit about me, I'm gonna geek out a little because I love technical things. I love fabric, I love technical design. I mean, if there's a technical aspect to anything, I'm kind of into it. I will geek out and like love to talk about it. One of those things is fabric. I'm pretty obsessive when it comes to the fabric that we source for our clothing. The top fabric, or I guess the majority of what we use a lot, is a jersey fabric. Jersey is a kind of loose term that we use for the weave of the knit. So all jerseys are not created equally. If you're going to remember anything, that's what you should remember from this conversation, is that all jerseys are different. So don't let a jersey and the idea of it, if you got it from somewhere else, kind of hinder you from trying our jersey. So the reason why jersey is such a finicky fabric is because it's a blend, usually with spandex and rayon. Rayon is a fiber that is made from cellulose or tree pulp. Nowadays they do use other weaves or other fibers. So when we kind of weave together a less like strong fiber like rayon, and then we blend it with a spandex. Spandex is so strong that it does tend to pill, and that is why jersey gets a bad name, is because it does pill. We try to source a rayon jersey that has a higher percentage of spandex that gives it a little more strength, and then we also source something that has more of a high twist yarn. So if you think about the fibers of cellulose, they are all like woven together. If they are short yarns and short fibers, they will break off and pill, and that is kind of what happens. So we try to source a longer yarn and a more high twist, so it's twisted at a higher strength, so that it is a little stronger and it does withstand a little more wear and tear than your normal jersey. But what we all love about jersey is the drape of it and how beautiful it kind of creates the movement. It does have somewhat of a sheen to it, so it looks a little dressier than your average cottons, and that is why we love jerseys so much, is just because it looks a little dressier, and it has just such a beautiful drape that we love that in our designs. So this is rayon jersey. This is our rayon jersey. Like I said, it does have a little more spandex and a higher twist yarn, and that is kind of why our jersey is created a little differently. And then I'm going to come back and talk to you a little bit more about our other favorite fabric. So I'll be right back. Okay, so I am back, and I'm going to talk to you about what we call our soft ponti. This is actually a double knit is the technical term. It is made from the same fibers as our rayon jersey. It is made from rayon and spandex, but as you can see, has a little more body, it has a little more weight, it's heavier. That's because it is what we would consider a double knit. So it's almost like instead of a single ply knit, this has two plies that are knitted together, so it makes a little thicker fabric, and that is kind of where soft ponti came to be. We sourced her initially to be a bottoms fabric and have it match our jersey, but everybody loved the thicker weight of it in our tops. It does create like more beautiful kind of cowls and drapes because it is so heavy. But we try to only offer this fabric during the fall because it is a little thicker. A lot of people are worried because it's thicker that it's going to be hot, but when you get hot in a fiber, it's usually because there is something like a polyester that kind of causes that, because polyester is made out of plastic. So cellulose, or what rayon is made out of, is somewhat of a natural fiber that is made from wood pulp. So it is a little more cool to the touch, which is why we love our soft ponti and our rayon jersey. It's cooler to the touch. It has somewhat of a wicking property, so if you sweat and that sort of thing, it's not going to absorb the way cotton would. So that is something about rayon that you could either love or hate about it, I guess. But soft ponti is such a beautiful fabric, a little thicker. You can kind of see in its movement that it does have a little more weight to it. you can kind of see that when you have a pleat or a cowl, it does have a little more depth to it because it is a thicker fabric compared to our jersey where our cowls are a little like thinner because the fabric is thinner. So that is our soft ponte, and then I'm going to come back and talk to you about more fabric because this is just a technical thing that I love to talk about. So I'll be right back. Okay, so I am back and we're going to talk about a fabric that we've just kind of introduced, and we're trying it out. We're trying to see how people are liking it. This is what we would consider a cotton modal. So this is a blend of cotton and modal and spandex, and it makes a somewhat similar fabric to a cotton jersey. A lot of people were asking us for cotton, something more natural, and so we really wanted to be mindful of that and try to give people what they wanted, while still kind of keeping in alignment with what we like to design. So we sourced a cotton with modal because it will have similar properties to the drapeability of jersey, but it still has kind of a little more of a stiffness, I would say, of cotton. So it's drapey, similar to our jersey, but it still has that kind of stiffness that cotton kind of provides. So that is a really good kind of blend between a cotton, like a basic cotton t-shirt, and then a jersey. So this is kind of the middle ground. And we love modal because modal is just a higher blend of something similar to rayon. So the blend of cotton and modal and spandex makes for a dressier kind of cotton knit. So that is kind of why we source this cotton modal, and we love that it is it is, like I said, going to have a little more of a wicking property because it is made from cotton, so it will absorb sweat, or if you dropped like water on it, you'll see a watermark, it will absorb it, but that is because it has cotton in it. So just something similar to our jersey, but if you wanted something that had a little more weight to it and kind of stood away from your body, that's kind of what cotton modal would do for you. So I'm going to come back and I'm going to explain two of our bottom fabrics, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I am back and we're going to talk about bottom weight fabrics. Something that we love a lot here, or I love a lot here, is something called a ponti di Roma, or we've been calling it a double knit because we did source a different quality of it. So what we're sourcing right now, we're calling double knit. This is actually sourced here in America. It is a fiber similar to soft ponte that is going to be 2-ply. So double knit means that there are like almost like 2 sheets of knit fabric, single ply knit, that they actually weave together and it becomes a double knit, which is why it is a little thicker in weight. Our double knit also has a different blend, so it has rayon, nylon, and spandex. Rayon again is what gives it that beautiful sheen. It gives it that cool to the touch kind of feeling. Nylon is really similar. So nylon is what you'll find in a lot of high-end athletic wear is nylon. So nylon is made from plastic, but it isn't like polyester, so it's not going to be hot. It still keeps that cool to the touch kind of feel. But what I love about nylon and spandex is that when you weave it into a fabric, it really holds the dye. So a lot of people ask me when they buy our black pants, is it going to fade? And I always tell them that it has nylon in it and that's why it won't fade. So if you have really high-end kind of athleisure wear, you'll notice that a lot of your stuff won't fade. It's because it has nylon in it. And it has such a great blend of the rayon, nylon, and spandex that it really makes a beautiful fabric that has great response. So that's kind of what we call bounce back. And that's kind of when it stretches, it does bounce back. That spandex pulls it back in. It doesn't allow for the stretch to stay stretched, if that makes sense. So in a pant, you'll notice that mostly when you wear it and you bend your knees a lot, eventually your pants kind of gets a little saggy in the knee area, or maybe saggy in the butt area. That is because the spandex isn't doing its job, or there's not a high enough amount of spandex that it's going to make it bounce back. That's what makes this double knit that we've recently been sourcing just so unique and so high quality, is that it has a really good blend and it has a really strong spandex fiber that it does have a really good response to it. You'll also notice that will kind of respond a little better to your body. It'll move a little better and it'll keep its shape, which is really nice. And it allows you to kind of wear this pant more than just one time. That's what's great about this higher quality double knit that we're now sourcing. So look for the word double knit because it is different from what we used to source, which we used to call ponti. But on that note, when we're talking about ponti, we have something called a ponti twill, and I'm going to get really close because I want you to see that twill, which is that diagonal weave similar to what you see in denim. This though is a knit, so it's really similar in weight to our double knit, but it has a twill kind of weave woven into it, so it makes for a really interesting look. And it has that beautiful drape again, same kind of blend of rayon, nylon, spandex, but it's a little drapier than our double knit. So you can kind of see it move compared to our double knit, which is really thicker and kind of stands up a little more. It has a little more body, where this has a little more drape, which is nice. So it's just a little different, kind of something fun, more of a fashion kind of fabric that we like to carry every once in a while. We don't carry it all of the time. So when people are deciding between a double knit pant and a ponti twill, I always tell them to get the ponti twill because double knit is something that we try to carry as often as we can or throughout the year. So that is kind of just the hints behind what fabrics to kind of focus on, but also why we feel like our fabrics are just a little more higher quality. I know a lot of people are concerned sometimes about price. We do try to source from higher quality vendors, and then we try to give you a higher quality fabric at a more reasonable price. And so these fabrics will kind of stand the test of time better. They will react better if you throw it into the wash. A lot of people do hang dry. I do a cold dryer, which I'm not supposed to tell you, but you can throw it into the washer and a cool dryer. I always tell people that the only reason why you don't want to put heat to things with spandex is because heat is eventually going to kind of break away at the spandex. The plastic is kind of going to start to melt, and that spandex will start to kind of deteriorate, which is why we don't like to put heat to spandex or things with spandex. So other than that, care for these items are really, really easy. And for me, you know, a lot of times why this is such a great brand and fabric to travel with is because wrinkles will kind of come out easily where you won't need to actually put an iron to these. I like to tell people to just hang a wrinkled item in a steam while they're showering and let it kind of get the steam. But really, because these fabrics do have the weight in it and it's a little heavier, if you hang it, the wrinkles will kind of come out, which is really nice. So just a little background about our fabrics. Thank you so much for joining me here. I always love talking with you, especially when it's about technical things like fabric. So thanks so much. I hope you have a beautiful day. I will see you very soon. Bye.